Hi guys, just going to give you a quick breakdown for your chapter 6 through 8 exam. Pretty basic again. I will say this, your first question is matching, and it is all the chapters together because there's not very many terms at all. I will even tell you there's not any terms in chapter 8, so really your matching is going to be out of chapter 6 and 7. So that's going to be pretty quick, only one question, and I think maybe there's like 8 matching or something like that in there. Maybe not even 8. And then you're going to have quite a few true or false this time to kind of make up for the fact that there's not as many matching. You'll have some different true and false out of each chapter, just like usual. Once you're finished with that, you're going to have 5 essay questions for a total of 25 questions. So you have a few more this time, but that's because I put in so many true or false. So in your chapter 6, the big essay questions you're going to have to discuss, make sure that you can talk about the use of cocaine and amphetamines for performance. And so I actually dictated, I want you to be able to talk about it being used in sports. I want you to be able to talk about it being used for academics. And I want you to be able to talk about it being used in work performance. So like, for example, you might look up a story about an athlete who, was using cocaine or amphetamines, or, you might, in the work section, look up that a lot of truck drivers actually use cocaine to stay awake. Doesn't seem like a good idea, right? And then for academics, obviously the big thing is using any of those products to stay awake to study and things like that. So, and I did dictate you should have a source for each one to get full credit. Each essay question is worth a significant amount of points, and that's why I kind of tell you ahead of time, hey, go out and look this stuff up, have your source ready when you go in to take the exam. Also from that section, you are going to have to talk about the use of drugs to treat ADHD, because that's a huge controversial issue right now. Especially in psychology, we talk a lot about how ADHD is probably overdiagnosed, but then on top of that, over-medicated. But I also want you to really understand the intricacies of why would we prescribe a stimulant to someone who is hyperactive. It doesn't a lot of times make sense in people's minds. And something to keep in mind is, and I've seen this happen, like I worked at a low-income daycare when I was in college, and there was a little boy there, and he had ADHD, and when he would come in, he'd be bouncing off the walls, and they were like, oh, he must not have taken his medicine. And I was kind of confused. I was like, why wouldn't he take his medicine? And they said, well, his parents take it as like speed. So I want you guys to be able to kind of discuss that in as much detail as possible. And again, cite your sources properly. In your chapter 7, talking about nicotine, you're just going to kind of rehash what you discussed in the discussion board, and kind of discuss, should we ban nicotine / tobacco, and just really kind of get into the meat and bones of that. And like I said, always try to use some statistics, whatever statistics you can find. And then I always encourage you to compare what's happening in the United States to in other countries, to kind of give us a better understanding of worldwide what's going on. So make sure you incorporate that. In your chapter 8 essay question, you're just going to discuss caffeine. So I know you guys watched the video in the assignment I gave. Hopefully you've read the chapter. And again, include as many statistics as you can. Compare us to other countries, all of that type of information. The last essay question is worth quite a few points too, because I put in 4 concepts that are kind of newer ideas that we're dealing with, or newer issues that we're dealing with, and I want you guys to do some investigating on those. So the first one I want you to kind of go out and find some information on is vaping. A lot of people are turning to vaping as opposed to smoking, and I know that you can put alternative substances. You could put different substances into vaping. So more so right now, see what you can find in regards to tobacco vaping and is it safer. But you can kind of look at vaping overall and see what's out there about it. The second thing I'm going to have you guys look at is the creation of all these synthetic drugs, something like bath salts, and just kind of do some investigating into that. I'm also going to have you guys look into meth, and just kind of discuss how widespread it is. Why is it increasing? Why do we have so many people addicted to meth? You could talk about how, the meth labs, the meth mouth, all that type of stuff. See what you can find about meth. And then, let me see. Oh, I think the last one I gave you was to just talk a little bit about caffeine drinks, because obviously that's a big, huge trend right now, as you have all these caffeine drinks coming out, and particularly you tend to see athletes drinking them. So I'd like you to do just a little bit of research on the caffeine drinks and what you can find about that, and maybe even look into, again, people using them, particularly like athletes, and what some of the benefits or drawbacks of that might be. So really, that's all you're going to have to do. It's pretty straightforward. I'm telling you ahead of time. I hope you're watching these videos so you can see to look up this stuff. And you guys are doing a great job. We're already almost halfway through. I think I counted, and you have like 9 days left. So, I know it's a lot, but you guys are doing a really good job, and just keep working. And before you know it, you're already going to have a 3-credit class done. So good luck.